Imagine waking tomorrow to find your finances multiplied, opportunities appearing effortlessly, and the invisible flow of abundance aligning perfectly with your life. What if the secret to unlocking this wealth was not in hard work, endless planning, or struggle, but in the simple, powerful act of speaking a single Bible verse aloud? Today, you are about to discover how words, faith, and divine law combine to open the doors of prosperity, dissolve limitation, and activate a flow of abundance that cannot be stopped. In the next few moments, you will learn the spiritual keys to commanding financial blessings, the art of releasing mental blocks, and the extraordinary multiplier that gratitude provides, so that your words become seeds of wealth, and your life transforms as if by miracle overnight. The spoken word is far more than a simple arrangement of letters, sounds, or syllables. It is a spiritual instrument of tremendous power, a key that unlocks the hidden doors of the universe. Every word we utter carries vibration and intention, and when aligned with divine law, it becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of the unseen world. Just as a farmer plants seeds in the earth, knowing that each seed contains the potential to sprout into a thriving crop, so too does the spoken word, when imbued with faith, germinate and multiply into tangible blessings. This is not mere theory or wishful thinking, it is a law as real and unwavering as the law of gravity. Words have the extraordinary capacity to influence, to attract, to manifest. When a person speaks a verse of scripture, a word of faith, or a declaration of abundance, they are not merely expressing a hope. They are setting in motion a divine principle that cannot fail. The universe, governed by the exact laws of spirit, responds to the vibration of our speech. Each word carries a frequency, an invisible energy that moves through the world, opening pathways, dissolving obstacles, and attracting circumstances in perfect alignment with the spoken decree. Consider, for a moment, the profound wisdom hidden in the ancient scriptures. Time and again, the written word emphasizes the power of speech. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, it declares, and as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. These are not mere poetic expressions, they are eternal truths. Words, when spoken with clarity, faith, and conviction, act as instruments of creation. They reach beyond the physical, penetrating the invisible world where the law of abundance resides. It is in this unseen realm that wealth, prosperity, and opportunity are born. The spoken verse is like a torch carried into a dark cave. It illuminates hidden resources, uncovers doors that were previously unseen, and guides the believer to channels of blessing. To understand the magnitude of the spoken word, one must first recognize the intimate connection between thought, speech, and manifestation. Every thought harbors potential energy, and every word spoken aloud transforms that potential into kinetic force. The tongue, though small, is a mighty instrument capable of shifting the currents of life. When one speaks a verse over their finances, declaring that abundance is their divine inheritance, the energy of the word courses through their consciousness, harmonizing their inner state with the unlimited supply of the universe. It is as though the words themselves act as magnets, drawing circumstances, opportunities, and people into alignment with the vision declared. Many fail to realize that words carry a precise law of cause and effect. Just as planting an apple seed will inevitably produce an apple tree, so too will words, spoken with faith, produce their intended result. To speak a Bible verse with conviction over one's finances is not superstition, it is an application of this immutable law. One must speak the words as if they are already true, as if the blessing is already manifesting. The difference between speaking words with doubt and speaking words with faith is the difference between planting seeds in rocky soil and planting them in rich, fertile ground. Faith nourishes the word, giving it life, momentum, and irresistible energy. The spoken word also serves as a declaration to the subconscious mind. The subconscious does not discern between what is imagined and what is spoken as truth. When you consistently speak a verse of abundance, your subconscious mind begins to align your thoughts, actions, and beliefs with the reality you have spoken into existence. Every decision you make, every action you take, and every perception you hold is subtly influenced by the frequency of the words you choose. Therefore, speaking a verse over your finances not only commands divine assistance, but also reprograms your inner consciousness to recognize and seize the opportunities that lead to prosperity. Furthermore, the spoken word has the extraordinary capacity to dissolve opposition. Obstacles, lack, and financial limitation are often the result of mental resistance, fear, or doubt. When a verse is spoken aloud, especially one affirming divine abundance, it functions like a key, unlocking the chains that bind the flow of wealth. It sweeps away fear, quiets the inner critic, and replaces uncertainty with confident expectancy. The voice of faith becomes louder than the voice of limitation, and the invisible forces of the universe begin to rearrange themselves in response. It is an unseen orchestration, a divine choreography in which doors open, connections are made, and resources appear in ways that defy ordinary understanding. It is also important to understand the vibrational nature of words. Every syllable resonates at a particular frequency, and when the frequency aligns with the universal law of prosperity, it triggers a harmonious response. Think of it as tuning a musical instrument. When the note is correct, the resonance brings forth beauty, harmony, and effect. Similarly, when the spoken word is attuned to the principles of divine law, it generates a resonance that attracts wealth, opportunity, and success. This is why it is essential to speak the verse with feeling, with clarity, and with unwavering confidence. The emotion behind the words infuses them with energy, transforming them from abstract phrases into living instruments of manifestation. Many who have experienced sudden financial breakthroughs testify to the miraculous power of simply speaking the word. They do not wait for circumstances to change, nor do they rely solely on their own efforts. Instead, they declare, with absolute certainty, that they are receiving, that abundance is flowing, and that the universe is responding to their faithful speech. And invariably, doors begin to open. Unexpected payments arrive, opportunities present themselves, and situations that seemed impossible are resolved. The spoken word is a catalyst. It is the divine spark that ignites action, draws provision, and multiplies resources in ways that appear instantaneous. Finally, one must cultivate the habit of speaking words of prosperity daily. Repetition is the mother of manifestation. Just as water wears away stone through constant flow, so too does repeated, faithful declaration shape reality. Speak the verse aloud each morning, throughout the day, and at night, allowing it to permeate every level of consciousness. Let it become the rhythm of your mind, the melody of your spirit, the guiding principle of your actions. The universe does not resist consistent, aligned declaration. It moves swiftly to respond to the clear, unwavering voice of faith, turning the spoken word into tangible results, and demonstrating the inexhaustible power that lies within the tongue when it is employed as an instrument of divine law. Faith is the invisible force that draws the unseen into the visible, the magnetic current that attracts the blessings, wealth, and opportunities that already exist in the spiritual realm but have not yet manifested in the physical world. It is not merely wishful thinking or hopeful expectation. It is a deep, unshakable knowing that what is declared and believed in the unseen is already present, ready to flow into your life. When one cultivates faith, it becomes a powerful magnet for abundance. The more unwavering and steadfast the faith, the stronger the pull of prosperity toward one's life. Faith is the bridge between the spoken word and its manifestation, the essential energy that aligns the individual with the divine law of supply and affluence. Many people fail to understand the simplicity yet profound effectiveness of faith. It is not the intensity of human effort, the sleepless nights spent planning, or the relentless striving that brings about miraculous financial expansion. While action is necessary in the physical world, it is faith that opens the door to the miraculous, that aligns the individual with infinite resources, and that creates a conduit through which divine provision flows effortlessly. Faith, when activated by the spoken word, sets in motion the invisible mechanisms of the universe, and wealth responds with immediacy. This is why the Bible repeatedly emphasizes faith as the essential key to receiving. According to your faith be it unto you. Here, faith is presented not as a passive sentiment, but as a dynamic, creative power that attracts abundance into every aspect of life. True faith is unwavering. It does not waver with circumstances, it does not falter in the face of setbacks, and it does not weaken because the results are not immediately visible. Like a magnet, faith draws what is needed irrespective of external conditions, for it operates in the realm of certainty, in the domain of spiritual law where lack has no power. It is a quiet, confident knowing that all needs are already supplied, that the universe is abundant, and that the spoken word of declaration will inevitably produce results. This form of faith does not demand proof before it acts, it simply trusts in the law, in the divine intelligence that governs the universe, and in the inexhaustible flow of supply that is ever present. Faith as a magnet for abundance also requires alignment of thought and feeling. The mind must believe, and the heart must feel the reality of abundance. Doubt, worry, or fear can repel the very blessings one seeks to attract. Just as a magnet cannot draw iron if another opposing force is present, so too can faith not draw wealth if the mind is occupied with thoughts of scarcity. Therefore, faith must be coupled with complete trust, unwavering belief, and emotional alignment with the vision of prosperity. When the spoken word of a Bible verse is accompanied by this kind of faith, it creates a powerful resonance that draws circumstances, opportunities, and people into perfect alignment with the declared prosperity. It is essential to understand that faith is not dependent upon external evidence or immediate results. The universe responds to the inner conviction rather than outward circumstances. Many individuals fail to manifest abundance because they look to the outer world for confirmation, constantly measuring the unseen against visible results. Faith, however, operates independently of what is seen. It does not question the timing, the form, or the means through which abundance will arrive. It simply trusts that the law of divine supply is operative and that the spoken word, infused with conviction and repeated in confidence, is already affecting the desired outcome. Faith also requires a release of mental resistance. Financial limitations, negative beliefs about money, and self-imposed scarcity must be released in order to allow the flow of abundance. When one speaks a verse declaring prosperity, it is not enough to speak the words mechanically, one must also release every opposing thought and every inner doubt. Faith demands surrender, a letting go of control and a complete trust in the unseen workings of divine law. As this surrender takes place, the individual becomes a receptive vessel, and abundance is drawn effortlessly, like water flowing into an open channel, toward the magnet of unwavering faith. The magnetism of faith extends beyond mere material wealth. It affects relationships, opportunities, and the overall flow of life. Faith opens doors, clears pathways, and brings guidance from unexpected sources. It attracts helpful people, timely opportunities, and intuitive insights that lead to greater financial and personal expansion. In this way, faith acts as an invisible force, orchestrating events in a manner that appears miraculous, yet is entirely consistent with spiritual law. The spoken word of a Bible verse, declared in faith, activates this force, and the universe responds to the certainty of belief. Furthermore, faith as a magnet for abundance is cultivated through consistent practice and conscious awareness. It is strengthened each time a declaration of prosperity is made with certainty, each time fear is replaced with trust, and each time gratitude is expressed for the abundance already present. The repetition of such practices creates a habitual resonance with the law of supply, making the individual a constant attractor of wealth and blessings. Faith becomes a natural state of being, an inner certainty that the universe is abundant, and that the spoken word of affirmation will produce tangible results. Faith also transforms the individual internally. As one consistently declares and believes in abundance, the consciousness itself expands. Limitations fade, new possibilities emerge, and creative solutions present themselves. The mind, once focused on lack, now begins to perceive wealth, opportunity, and growth everywhere. This internal shift is the first and most critical manifestation of faith. It is within the consciousness that the seeds of abundance are sown before they appear in the physical world. Speaking a Bible verse over finances is not merely an outward ritual, it is a transformative act that aligns the mind, heart, and spirit with the infinite reservoir of prosperity. Ultimately, faith is both the magnet and the channel through which abundance flows. It is not measured by visible results, but by the inner certainty that the spoken word is active, that divine law is operative, and that supply is abundant and inevitable. As one speaks a Bible verse with unwavering faith, the universe rearranges itself in response, creating pathways, opening doors, and drawing circumstances that multiply finances and bring unexpected blessings. Faith is the silent, invisible, yet irresistible force that transforms spoken words into tangible abundance. The human mind is a fertile field in which thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes take root and grow, often creating invisible barriers that block the flow of abundance. These mental blocks are the silent architects of limitation. They form patterns of scarcity, fear, and hesitation that quietly dictate the conditions of one's life. They are not physical obstacles, yet their effect on finances, relationships, and opportunities is real and undeniable. To experience the rapid multiplication of wealth and prosperity, it is essential to release these mental blocks, for they act like dams on a river, preventing the natural flow of divine supply. Speaking a Bible verse with faith over one's finances is the key that loosens these invisible chains, opening the mind to infinite possibilities, unlocking the doors of opportunity, and inviting the currents of abundance to flow unhindered into one's life. Mental blocks are often formed through years of conditioning, societal influence, personal experiences, and inherited beliefs. From childhood, individuals are subtly taught to accept limitations, that money is scarce, that wealth is only for a few, that prosperity is difficult to attain. These ingrained ideas take root in the subconscious mind, influencing every decision and thought, and they create a persistent resistance to financial expansion. A person may work diligently, make wise decisions, and seek opportunities, yet the invisible force of mental blocks silently repels abundance, keeping them tethered to scarcity. These blocks are subtle, often unnoticed, yet profoundly effective, as they operate beneath conscious awareness, shaping the reality experienced by the individual. To release these mental blocks, one must first recognize them. Awareness is the first step toward liberation. Observe the thoughts that arise when money is discussed, when opportunities present themselves, or when financial decisions must be made. Fear, doubt, worry, hesitation, and even guilt are signals of the mental barriers at work. These thoughts, though fleeting, carry immense creative power. Each one planted in the fertile soil of the mind creates a vibration that either attracts or repels abundance. Speaking a Bible verse over finances is a deliberate act of replacing these limiting vibrations with the energy of faith, hope, and expectancy. It is an act of conscious reprogramming, telling the mind that scarcity is false, limitation is an illusion, and that divine abundance is both natural and inevitable. Releasing mental blocks requires more than mere acknowledgement. It demands active engagement through the spoken word. The Bible verse, when declared with clarity and conviction, becomes a spiritual instrument that sweeps away resistance. The verse acts like a spiritual broom, clearing the debris of negative beliefs, dissolving fear, and making room for the new reality of prosperity. It is not enough to passively hope for abundance while harboring doubts. The spoken word must replace hesitation, anxiety, and disbelief with faith, confidence, and certainty. As one repeats the verse aloud, the vibration of abundance permeates the subconscious mind, reshaping habitual thought patterns and gradually transforming the mental landscape, from one of limitation to one of limitless potential. Visualization amplifies the process of releasing mental blocks. While speaking the verse, one must see the reality of abundance as though it is already present. Imagine finances multiplying, doors opening effortlessly, and wealth flowing freely from all directions. This mental image, coupled with the spoken declaration, engages both conscious and subconscious mind in harmony, reinforcing the belief that prosperity is natural, inevitable, and already underway. Visualization is the bridge between thought and manifestation. It gives the spoken word a form, a shape, and a direction. By pairing declaration with imagery, the mental blocks, which are themselves products of imagination, are dissolved and replaced with creative, constructive mental impressions of wealth and opportunity. Another critical element in releasing mental blocks is the practice of forgiveness and letting go of past financial failures. Many individuals carry guilt, regret, or resentment related to money. These negative emotions form strong anchors that keep the mind tethered to past limitations. To attract abundance, these emotional weights must be released. Speaking a Bible verse while consciously forgiving oneself, releasing old disappointments, and letting go of blame purges the subconscious of energetic resistance. It is as if the mind, once burdened with past mistakes, opens fully to the new flow of prosperity, ready to receive without hesitation or fear. Gratitude is an additional force that dissolves mental blocks. By speaking the verse in tandem with genuine thankfulness for current blessings, the individual amplifies the frequency of abundance. Gratitude neutralizes resistance, shifts attention from lack to supply, and aligns consciousness with the infinite reservoir of wealth. Every word of thanks reinforces the spoken declaration, creating a powerful energetic field that repels limitation and attracts opportunities, resources, and divine provision. Gratitude, therefore, is not a passive sentiment, it is an active multiplier of the spoken word, accelerating the removal of mental barriers and increasing the speed of manifestation. Consistency in speaking the verse is paramount. Mental blocks do not dissolve instantaneously for most people. They are often deeply rooted and require persistent, deliberate effort to release. By committing to daily declaration, one systematically replaces old, limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones. Over time, the subconscious mind internalizes the new vibrations, creating a permanent shift in consciousness. The mental blocks that once held back financial growth gradually lose their grip, allowing the spoken word of prosperity to generate visible, tangible results. Consistency strengthens faith, reinforces expectancy, and solidifies the belief that wealth is not only possible but inevitable when aligned with spiritual law. It is also important to recognize the power of self-talk in the process of releasing mental blocks. Every internal statement of doubt, every whispered worry, every thought of insufficiency reinforces the barriers to abundance. The spoken Bible verse functions as a corrective mechanism, replacing negative self-talk with affirmative truth. It interrupts the habitual patterns of limitation, creating a new rhythm in the mind that vibrates with faith, expectancy, and confidence. The more one speaks the verse aloud, the more the subconscious is reprogrammed, and the mental blocks lose their authority, giving way to clarity, openness, and alignment with divine prosperity. Finally, the release of mental blocks is not merely a psychological process, it is a spiritual one. These barriers are manifestations of unseen resistance in the mental and emotional realms. When addressed through the spoken word, faith, visualization, forgiveness, and gratitude, they dissolve naturally, allowing the individual to move freely in alignment with divine law. Speaking a Bible verse over finances is not simply an act of repetition, it is a declaration of liberation, a spiritual command that transforms the mind, frees the soul, and opens the channels through which wealth flows unimpeded. Understanding divine timing is essential to realizing the full power of speaking a Bible verse over one's finances. Many people approach the law of abundance with impatience, expecting immediate results according to human schedules and calculations. Yet the universe operates according to a higher intelligence, a precise and perfect timing that aligns every event, opportunity, and blessing in accordance with divine law. Instant manifestation does not mean that results appear according to our expectations or within our limited understanding of time. It means that the spiritual principle behind the spoken word is activated immediately, setting into motion an invisible orchestration that will inevitably bring the declared blessing into the physical realm. The spoken verse plants a seed in the unseen, and from the moment it is spoken with faith, divine timing begins to unfold. Divine timing is a reflection of perfect order in the universe. Just as the sun rises at the appointed hour and the seasons change according to the natural law, so too do blessings manifest according to spiritual law. Wealth and prosperity are not delayed by lack, effort, or circumstance. They are perfectly timed to arrive in harmony with other unfolding events that will maximize their effect and integration into one's life. When a Bible verse is spoken with faith, the unseen energies of supply, opportunity, and provision are set into motion immediately, even if the visible results have not yet appeared. This is the essence of instant manifestation, the activation of law, the beginning of creation in the invisible realm, which will inevitably manifest in physical reality. Many individuals fail to receive because they judge results by what they see in the physical world rather than by the unseen activity of divine law. The spoken word of a Bible verse is a command to the infinite, and the universe responds instantly. The delay, if any appears, is only in the physical demonstration, not in the spiritual activation. Like a seed planted in fertile soil, it begins to germinate the moment it touches the earth, though the shoot may take days to appear above ground. The spoken verse, imbued with faith, begins to move circumstances, align events, and attract resources immediately. To doubt or question this process is to interfere with the natural law, slowing the flow of manifestation. The wise understand that faith, patience, and expectancy are essential companions to the spoken word, allowing divine timing to bring results in perfect harmony. Instant manifestation also relies on clarity of declaration. The universe responds to specific, confident statements of faith. Vague wishes and uncertain affirmations create ambiguity, which delays the flow of abundance. A Bible verse spoken with clarity, knowing its power and declaring it as already fulfilled, creates a direct line of communication with divine intelligence. The spoken word is the blueprint, and divine timing ensures that every element required for manifestation falls into place at the exact right moment. Opportunities appear, resources are aligned, and solutions to financial challenges emerge, all orchestrated with flawless precision. The individual may not see the invisible workings, yet the law is always active, producing effects in perfect order. Another aspect of divine timing is the synchronization of multiple elements. Often, prosperity arrives not as a single isolated event, but as a confluence of circumstances, people, and actions. Speaking a Bible verse activates the alignment of these elements in unseen ways. The right opportunities meet the right people, the right ideas align with available resources, and the right actions intersect with favorable circumstances. This orchestration, guided by divine timing, ensures that when the manifestation occurs, it is complete, abundant, and harmonious. Instant manifestation, therefore, is not merely about speed. It is about the perfection of timing that maximizes the blessing and integrates it seamlessly into one's life. Faith and patience are essential to respecting divine timing. One must trust that the spoken word is already active in the unseen and that every delay is purposeful and beneficial. Impatience, worry, or doubt disrupts the flow of law and may cause resistance, while steadfast faith ensures uninterrupted movement of the unseen forces. It is a delicate balance. Declare with absolute confidence, act when inspired, and release all attachment to the when and how of manifestation. This trust allows the universe to orchestrate events with precision, ensuring that the spoken verse produces results that exceed human expectations. Visualization and expectancy further support divine timing. As one speaks a Bible verse over finances, imagining the blessing as already present, the mind aligns with the flow of abundance. This alignment creates a vibrational resonance with the infinite supply, enhancing the efficiency of manifestation. Expectancy, combined with faith, becomes a powerful magnet that draws circumstances and opportunities into alignment with the spoken word. The law responds not to hope or wishing but to certainty, conviction, and sustained focus. By seeing the result mentally while declaring it verbally, one harmonizes inner consciousness with the outer manifestation, ensuring that divine timing produces the most fruitful and abundant results. Instant manifestation also requires release of resistance. Any lingering doubts, fears, or negative beliefs act like weights on the flow of abundance, slowing the manifestation. Speaking a Bible verse while consciously releasing these internal barriers clears the path for the law to operate unhindered. Resistance, often unnoticed, can take the form of self-imposed limitation, fear of failure, or disbelief in one's worthiness. As the spoken word activates the principle of abundance, the deliberate choice to let go of these blocks allows divine timing to operate with precision, delivering the blessings in their perfect measure. Gratitude, again, plays a vital role in synchronizing with divine timing. By expressing thankfulness as one speaks the verse, the individual aligns consciousness with the feeling of abundance, which accelerates the manifestation process. Gratitude signals to the universe that the flow of supply is acknowledged and welcomed, amplifying the effect of the spoken word. The combination of faith, expectancy, visualization, and gratitude creates an irresistible force, ensuring that instant manifestation unfolds with perfect timing, bringing financial growth, opportunities, and wealth into immediate experience. Finally, understanding divine timing encourages trust in the unseen law. Speaking a Bible verse over finances is not dependent on human comprehension or manipulation. It is an invocation of law, a spiritual command that sets events into motion according to perfect design. Even when the physical evidence seems delayed, the law is always in action. Every spoken word, repeated with faith and expectancy, contributes to the unfolding manifestation. The individual learns to act in harmony with inspiration, to remain patient, and to trust that abundance is flowing in the perfect time, in the perfect measure, and through the perfect channels, multiplying finances and blessings in ways that align with the highest good. Gratitude is a spiritual force of remarkable potency, a multiplier that amplifies the power of the spoken word, transforms consciousness, and attracts abundance into every area of life. It is not merely a polite acknowledgement of blessings already received, it is an active, dynamic law of creation that signals the universe to respond with increased provision. When speaking a Bible verse over one's finances, expressing gratitude serves as the essential ingredient that converts declaration into manifestation. Without gratitude, the spoken word may activate law, but the energy remains incomplete, lacking the vibrational fullness necessary to accelerate the flow of wealth. Gratitude, therefore, is both the amplifier and the activator, intensifying the effect of faith, visualization, and verbal affirmation. The law of gratitude operates on the principle that appreciation attracts more of that which is valued. When one is truly thankful for the blessings already present, no matter how small, the universe recognizes the alignment of consciousness with abundance. This alignment becomes a magnetic field, drawing additional resources, opportunities, and wealth into experience. Gratitude does not merely acknowledge what has been received, it celebrates the unseen as though it were already present, sending a clear signal to the spiritual realm that the mind and heart are receptive and ready to receive even greater abundance. Every spoken verse gains tremendous power when suffused with this sense of deep appreciation. Many individuals overlook gratitude in their pursuit of financial growth. They may speak affirmations, pray, or repeat Bible verses with expectation, yet their hearts remain fixated on lack, limitation, or what has not yet arrived. In this state, the spoken word is like a seed planted in barren soil, producing minimal fruit. Gratitude, on the other hand, prepares the inner soil, making it fertile and receptive. When one speaks a verse over finances while consciously feeling thankful for existing blessings, it is as if invisible hands are opening channels, clearing pathways, and creating conditions for rapid multiplication. Gratitude aligns the conscious mind with the subconscious, harmonizing thought, feeling, and vibration, creating the optimal environment for manifestation. True gratitude extends beyond mere acknowledgement of physical wealth. It is a recognition of the flow of life, the intelligence of the universe, and the unseen order that orchestrates provision. When speaking a Bible verse, gratitude reinforces the awareness that all resources, guidance, and opportunities are supplied by divine law, and that every declaration is supported by infinite intelligence. This understanding elevates the spoken word from a personal request to a collaborative act with the divine. The energy of gratitude transforms the declaration into a living, potent force charged with faith, expectancy, and certainty, which attracts both immediate and long-lasting abundance. Gratitude also shifts consciousness from a focus on scarcity to a focus on supply. When attention is fixed on lack, the mind vibrates with limitation, repelling wealth and opportunity. Conversely, when gratitude is expressed, attention is drawn to abundance, fulfillment, and the presence of divine resources. This shift in vibration is critical because the universe responds not to requests alone, but to the dominant state of consciousness. By speaking a Bible verse over finances with gratitude, one amplifies the attraction of wealth, reinforcing the internal conviction that abundance is already flowing and that the spoken words are active and effective. The act of gratitude magnifies the effects of faith and spoken word in several ways. Firstly, it enhances emotional resonance. Words spoken without feeling have limited influence on the subconscious mind and the unseen law. Gratitude infuses the spoken declaration with emotion, power, and vibrational intensity, making it irresistible to the law of attraction. Secondly, gratitude aligns the individual with the rhythm of divine law. By expressing thanks, the mind and heart enter a state of alignment with the natural flow of supply, allowing unseen forces to operate unimpeded. Thirdly, gratitude generates a compounding effect. Each expression of thankfulness signals to the universe that abundance is acknowledged, appreciated, and expected, creating a multiplying cycle that accelerates financial growth. Visualization combined with gratitude further strengthens the process. As one speaks the Bible verse aloud, imagining wealth multiplying, doors opening, and finances flowing freely, the feeling of gratitude acts as a bridge between imagination and reality. Gratitude converts the mental image into a vibrational reality, infusing the declaration with energy that propels it from thought into manifestation. The subconscious mind, responding to both verbal affirmation and heartfelt thanks, begins to recognize abundance as present and inevitable. This alignment of thought, speech, emotion, and vibration creates a powerful attractor, drawing resources, opportunities, and financial breakthroughs into immediate experience. Gratitude also softens resistance, a critical factor in manifestation. Mental blocks, doubts, and fears are often rooted in a sense of unworthiness, past failures, or attachment to scarcity. By expressing genuine appreciation, one neutralizes these blocks, releasing tension and opening the mind to receive. Gratitude functions as a key that unlocks the mental and emotional doors, allowing the law of supply to operate freely. The spoken Bible verse, combined with the vibrational energy of thanks, becomes unstoppable, effortlessly dissolving opposition and attracting abundance from every direction. Furthermore, gratitude cultivates a sense of abundance in the present moment, which is the foundation for all future manifestation. One cannot truly attract more wealth if the mind is fixated on what is lacking. By acknowledging and appreciating current blessings, no matter their size, the individual establishes a baseline of abundance in consciousness. This state of recognition expands the mind, prepares the heart, and primes the spirit for greater wealth. Speaking a Bible verse with gratitude thus does more than invoke immediate financial results. It cultivates a mindset, a vibrational state, and a life rhythm that continuously attracts prosperity. Consistency in gratitude is paramount. Daily expressions of thankfulness, combined with repeated verbal affirmations of financial abundance, create a habitual resonance with the law of supply. This consistent vibration amplifies the spoken word, strengthens faith, and accelerates manifestation. The universe responds to the habitual patterns of consciousness, and gratitude establishes a powerful, ongoing signal that abundance is welcome, expected, and celebrated. Each repetition of the verse, accompanied by heartfelt thanks, compounds the effect, producing visible results and reinforcing the certainty that wealth and prosperity are natural states of being. Finally, gratitude as the multiplier emphasizes the interconnectedness of all spiritual laws. Faith activates the spoken word, visualization provides form and direction, forgiveness releases resistance, divine timing ensures perfect orchestration, and gratitude magnifies every effect. When one speaks a Bible verse over finances with this consciousness, each principle is enhanced, and the entire process of manifestation becomes harmonious, accelerated, and unstoppable. Gratitude is the secret catalyst, transforming thought into reality, declaration into provision, and belief into overflowing abundance. As we draw this journey of declaration, faith, and spiritual alignment to a close, it becomes clear that abundance is not a distant dream but a natural, ever-present reality waiting to be claimed. The spoken word infused with faith is the seed, the unwavering belief in divine law is the magnet that draws prosperity, the release of mental blocks clears the way for flow, divine timing ensures that blessings arrive in perfect order, and gratitude multiplies every manifestation, expanding both the heart and life beyond measure. Each principle we have explored is not a mere suggestion. It is a law, an unchanging spiritual truth that, when applied consistently, transforms scarcity into sufficiency, lack into overflowing wealth, and limitation into limitless possibility. The universe responds to our words, our thoughts, and the vibrations we emit, moving in harmonious orchestration to align circumstances, opportunities, and resources with our spoken declarations. This is the power and mystery of divine law, that we are not passive participants in life, but active co-creators, able to shape our experience by aligning our inner world with the infinite supply that surrounds us. By speaking the verse, we are planting seeds in the fertile soil of the unseen, energizing them with faith, clearing resistance, and allowing divine intelligence to bring them into physical form. Gratitude ensures that every act of declaration is amplified, attracting not only the financial resources we seek, but also the peace, joy, and confidence that accompany true alignment with universal law. In this practice, there is no room for fear or hesitation, for every spoken word carries creative power, every act of faith sets law into motion, and every moment of thankfulness multiplies the blessings already present. To embrace these truths is to step into a life of deliberate creation, where wealth, opportunity, and success are not accidents, but the natural consequences of alignment with spiritual law. The words we speak are instruments of transformation, capable of changing not only our circumstances, but the very consciousness through which we experience life. When spoken with faith, clarity, and gratitude, a single Bible verse becomes a powerful agent of manifestation, unlocking doors, dissolving obstacles, and inviting abundance from every corner of the universe. As we continue to speak, believe, and give thanks, we participate in the eternal dance of co-creation, knowing that prosperity is our divine inheritance, always flowing, always present, and always multiplying in perfect harmony with the law that governs all things.